Hello, my name is Mooncat, and in this video I want to show you some surprisingly good attack-focused Winter Village set designs. Now this Winter Village, it was released all the way back in 2017, so that's almost 3 years ago. And that was before I even started, so quite an old design. And when I first looked at this, I thought it looked very poor, to be honest. I didn't think much of it. The stats might have been good for the time, but nowadays nothing special, nothing to be excited about. However, a few months ago I was introduced to this, and as you can see, if you look at the attack building from this design, it's actually surprisingly good even nowadays. So the Helmbuck, which is a 2x1 building, so only 2 tiles, it gives up to 3 attack. So in and of itself, that's actually very nice. And as you can see here, I have a design in my city. This design here gives 15 attack for 18 tiles. That's very interesting. But yeah, let's look closer at a few different designs, how efficient they are, and yeah, just give you some ideas on how you can make this design actually work, even in 2020 at the time of recording. So for this video, I want to use one of the settings in this tool that I really like to use when I play around with testing sets. That's show number of neighbors. This setting will show how many neighbors each of these pieces has. As you can see, these green buildings, that means that they have all the neighbors they need in order to give full rewards, full production. And if we look at this Helmbuck, when it is connected to 3 unique set pieces, it will give up to 3 attack, no matter which age you are in. So that's another strong point of this set. If you're in Bronze Age, you will get the same as if you were in Space Ages. So let's go over some designs. Now this first one, that's the one I have in my city, as you can see here. In total, this gives 15 attack, which is a decent amount, for 18 tiles, for a total of 0.83 attack per tile. Now that's, it's decent. It's definitely good in lower ages, but in higher ages it's a little bit on the low side. Ideally you want 1 attack or more, but you can definitely do better than this. So here we have another design. This gives 12 attacks, so slightly less. However, you do only need 1 of these Tinkerers, so in total it gives 0.86 attack per tile. So that's slightly better. Now the next design, initially might look worse. It gives 12 attack, however you need 2 of these 1x2 pieces this time, so in total 0.75 attack per tile. As you can see, this uses the Smörgåsbord and the Candlemaker instead of the Tinkerer. So first module, quite poor. However, this can be stacked infinitely by simply adding modules like this. And if we connect this, you can see that for this module specifically, the thing you added, that gives 1 attack per tile. So you add an additional 12 attack for 12 additional tiles. So in total, these 2 modules will give 0.86 attack per tile, which is already as good as this. And then if you just continue on expanding it, so here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 modules. If you look at all of these together, you can see 0.96 attack per tile, almost 1 attack per tile. And it's, sure, it's a lot of buildings. It's relatively big, but still, it's nothing crazy. This in and of itself gives 96 attack, so it looks like it's actually 100 tiles big. So, in other words, that's 10 by 10 blocks. Now, if we look at your city, if, as me, you have unlocked these pieces, these expansions up here, you can easily fit this in here, for example. Sadly, you can't fit it quite here, but you can fill in these empty spaces with, I don't know, sentinel outposts, with some guard posts, for example. And you can easily fit it behind here and simply move the rest of the buildings further down below. Because, as you can see, none of these buildings require any roads. So that's another great thing about this set, or the attack-focused designs from this set. They don't require any roads at all. So let's move this down again. Now, as you can see, this uses Smorgasbord and Candlemaker instead of Tinkerers. And for me personally, in my city, I already have some Tinkerers placed. I have 2 here. I have 1 in my inventory, so ideally I want to use some of those as well in my designs. So down below here I have a few alternatives where you use either only the Tinkerers or Tinkerers and these other buildings. So the first design here, this is actually a very quite easy design to fit into your city as well. Completely rectangular, again no roads required. This specific piece gives 54 attack for 0.9 attack per tile, so that's definitely less efficient than this, but it's an interesting design. Now here's a slightly better version. As you can see, this gives 51 attack, however 0.93 attack per tile. Now if you look at the number of buildings here, there's 32 buildings in total, and if you look at this design here, if we just choose these, you can see that's 31 buildings, so almost the same, and it actually has lower efficiency. So for this amount of buildings, here is actually a better design, which I found a little bit surprising, but it's quite cool. So here you can see that he used 2 of these Tinkerers. So for me personally, I already have 2 Tinkerers, so I will definitely be going for this as I expand. And this design here, you can actually make it completely rectangular by adding these pieces on both sides. And now it's a very big building, so perhaps a little bit unrealistic, but if you look at the efficiency, 0.94, so it's definitely not bad. In total, 123 attack per tile. This design here will be more efficient as you expand it. But this is definitely a nice option. It's completely rectangular and it's still very nice. And if you look at it again, if for me, for example, if I wanted, I could place it here on top of my city. So that's places somewhere around here. And then if you look at the remaining tiles there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's a 6 by 6. That's quite a lot of great buildings over that size. So STM, Himeji Castle, for example, will fit very nicely in there. So that's definitely an interesting option as well. And I do want to challenge you to play around with this set. I think there might be some even better designs. The absolute best you can do, and I won't explain how I get to this number. I can do it in a comment if you want. But if we look at how many attack per tile you can get up with an optimal design, you need 2 tiles for the Helmbach, and then you need 0.25 tiles for each of the 1x1 blocks, and then you need an additional 0.33 tiles, and I see that I messed it up, but 2.83 tiles in total for 3 attack. So that if we put that in, you can see that the absolute best with an optimal design you can do, I believe, is 1.06 attack per tile. I don't think that's realistic, but I do think it might be possible to squeeze in a little bit more efficiently to get it just above 1 attack per tile in a design that would actually fit your city. So that's my challenge to you. I really want to see how we can squeeze even more efficiency out of this. Is it possible to get above 1 attack per tile in a realistic design in your city? But yeah, that's what I wanted to show. I have a few designs here, so are also quite interesting. I won't really go over them, but I have a link in the description. So just reload it. The link will take you to these pieces, and here you can see the ones I talked about. Those, and this, and this, and here we have the other 2. And here you can play around with your design, and I would really like to see what you can do. Just a final thought on this set. If you go to the antiques dealer, the Winter Village set, the selection kit itself has a starting price of 3,240. I often see it for around 3.3k, 3.5k or something like that, so you can usually pick it up very cheaply. And as you can see, these pieces, some of these are a little bit expensive, but still not that expensive. So it's definitely up to you if you want to buy these as well in the standard sales, or if you purely want to go for the Winter Village. And if we look at some of these designs, let's look at this, for example. This has 59 buildings. So if you look at that, 59 times, let's just say 3,500 per kit. That's a total of 200,000 antique dealer coins, which, you know, it's definitely a lot. But still, 59 pieces, you probably need, I don't know, a year and a half for that. So it's definitely achievable. Just like me personally, you know, I have 370,000 coins. That's definitely something I can afford. I also have quite a lot still to sell, so for me, this is definitely not a crazy amount to spend for all the tech you get. You know, for this design, for example, you get 96 attack. For this, for example, you get 51 attack, and then if you add these, 123 attack, and how many buildings is that? That's 76 buildings, so that's even more. 266, 300,000 coins or something, so it's definitely a lot, but over the time you would need to pick up these pieces, I think it's very achievable. They usually sell for very cheaply, at least in my world. And I definitely think that you should pick them up. You don't need to have anything crazy in mind, just keep picking them up, and when you have some free space in your city, you know, I would build this. I would just, you know, find an easy place in your city to build it, or some additional, relatively efficient attack boosts. So yeah, I have gone on for long enough. That's what I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you get some use out of this, and I would love to see some screenshots or some ideas of your designs in the comments. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.